Is it just me, or are there a lot of bitter Bettys on social media? It seems like every time I hop on TikTok or on Instagram, there is some new video of women talking about how all of their exes are trash and therefore all men are trash. Look, I understand what it's like to be hurt by a man. I understand that it takes a while to process that pain. I truly do. However, to quote Lil Wayne, real G's move in silence like lasagna. If you need to heal, if it's going to take you a while to get over this relationship, the last thing you need to do is spend all of your time on social media talking about how horrible this man is. All you're doing is giving him the attention that he probably wanted to begin with. All you're doing is proving his point when he goes and tells other people, see, she was crazy. Like she was just obsessed with me. I don't know what was wrong with her. All you're doing is entertaining people who don't really care about you. They just want to be all up in your business, whether that is so called family and friends, or whether you have a large audience who, yeah, they have a large audience. And I mean, you have a large audience and they're always online telling you it's going to be okay, sis, and it's going to be all right. And they sound supportive. But the fact is, if you stopped posting, they would forget you in a heartbeat. Some of them, if you started posting happy stuff, they would forget you in a heartbeat. How many times have you heard people make jokes about how Mary J. Blige, when she was happily married, or Adele, that like once they fell in love, the music wasn't going to be as good? The reason why I bring up this point is because if you truly want to be in a happy and healthy relationship, it's time that you start focusing on and also loving and giving grace to the Mr. Nows. You know, there's all this talk about finding Mr. Right. And yes, it is my desire that every woman who comes in contact with me finds her Mr. Right and has the relationship that she wants to have, whether that's marriage or some other type of partnership. It's my desire that women find healthy and happy relationships. It is my desire that women find relationships that motivate them to be better and also support them as they go about their goals, as they go about, accomplishing their dreams, that they find someone who truly supports and is just as passionate about their goals and dreams as they are. That being said, before you meet Mr. Right, you're going to meet Mr. Right Nows. And the key to having a healthy, happy, sustainable relationship with Mr. Right is being able to recognize these Mr. Right Nows and also being very cognizant of how you treat them. So, first of all, if you hate every single one of your exes, you have a problem because the fact is the common denominator is you. That's what they all have in common is you. And I'm not saying this to put you down, to make you feel bad about yourself, but it is time that you start considering, even if I am a good person, even if I do have great intentions for the people that I'm with, even if I try to give my all in a relationship, why is it that these types of men continue to stay? Not why do they come in your life? I want to make that clear because, especially for men, dating is a numbers game. Most men feel like if they ask out 10 women, one has to say yes, right? um, most men will also choose the path of least resistance. So if they are trifling and dusty, but they have a woman who treats them well and treats them like a king, why protest that? Like, why say, oh, no, 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 I don't want to be treated well? I don't want to be treated with love and respect. I don't want somebody who worships the ground that I walk on. I'll just peace out. I'll leave. I'm not going to do that. So oftentimes it's recognizing not what's wrong with you, but what is it that allows you to tolerate people like that? Usually you'll recognize that you're not just tolerating that in your romantic relationships, you're also tolerating it with your friends. You have family members who, yeah, they're family. And yes, you can love your family, but you can also choose to love your family from a distance if they're not treating you well. You can choose to go no contact. Um, I would know I have toxic family members that I honestly, like, I wish the best for them. I pray for them on a regular basis, but I'm not going near them with a 10-foot pole because when I tried in the past, they were toxic, and I have no indication that they aren't still toxic. It's not a matter of what you attract. Your background can allow you to attract mess. Um, Men will try it, even if they know that you can do better and that you deserve better. But it is a matter of what you allow to stay in your life, what you tolerate. And hating an ex for doing what most people would do, hating someone for the fact that they were treated well by you, they liked being treated well by you, so they tried to stay in that situation as long as possible, it's not going to get you anywhere. But what you want to do is expand your pool of Mr. Right Nows who are good men, but until you date them, until you get to know them, you're not going to find out whether or not they're Mr. Right. And part of being able to do that is to give grace. You have to recognize that a man can be a good man, but not be your man. This is why I bring up the whole hating on exes thing, because so often you can be in a relationship with someone who is a good person, but because this person wants different things from you, you're not compatible. It's not going to work out. And that doesn't make them horrible. Um, I've heard women, clients of mine, friends of mine, say things like, I wanted kids, and we were together for 3, 4 years before I found out that he didn't want kids. He's such a terrible man. Why wouldn't he tell me that? Well, why did you never have that discussion with him? Like, if he lied, then yes, he's terrible. And like, we can talk about that. But if you never really just had that discussion and you assumed he wanted children, that doesn't make him a bad guy. Doesn't make you a bad person either, but also is a lesson learned that this is something that's important to you. So you need to learn to bring it up early on in the relationship so that you don't waste that type of time again. You know, that's the thing about adulting. When you are an adult, adults talk. They talk about their wants, they talk about their needs. And it is perfectly okay to be in a relationship with someone for a certain period of time, several months, say, get to know them. And then after spending that time getting to know them, realizing that, hey, we're not going in the same direction. What you want, what I want are two completely different things. And they're so different that there's no reconciling them. It's okay to get to that point and see that, like, hey, this man is good. I actually learned things in this relationship with him. I had new experiences with him. I learned more about what it is that I don't want in a relationship and what I do want in a relationship. And now that I've learned those lessons, now that I'm a little bit wiser and a little bit smarter, it's time for me to move on. You can do that without bashing the man. And it's not just about like giving men a break. But one, I do believe that vengeance isn't mine, that is God's. So there's no point in bashing them. Like, they will be handled somehow. But also, what kind of energy does that set you up for? When you are in relationships and you see that there are clearly mismatches, you see that there are red flags, and you make the decision to stay, it breeds resentment. Instead of recognizing that this person may love me, but they're not capable of loving me the way that I need to be loved. Um, this person may love me, but they're not capable of really being in a loving relationship with anyone. They have trauma they've never healed from. They have wounds and scars they've never healed from. This person may care about me, but they don't really love me. And they just feel like they have to be in this relationship out of obligation or because it looks so good on paper. You'll find yourself in situations like that. And once you get to the point where you're no longer willing to settle, where you know that you deserve better and you're willing to move on, things become so much better for you and so much easier for you in your subsequent relationships. Um, you have no problem stating your boundaries. You have no problem coming across as authentic. You will get more respect for that, and you will increase your likelihood of finding your Mr. Right. What happens when you don't walk, when you allow yourself to stay in a relationship long enough for the resentment to build, and then be angry, be upset, be hurt when the relationship does reach its inevitable end, is that then you start putting yourself out there in the dating pool again, and you're meeting more Mr. Right Nows. You're meeting guys who have some potential, who look good on paper, but there are again ways in which they're completely and totally incompatible. You're going to repeat these same cycles. And not only that, you'll end up in situations where these men pick up on your bitterness. They pick up on the fact that you're upset. They pick up on you not being healed from previous relationships. Some men, frankly, aren't going to want to deal with being punished for something that another man did. Some men are going to see that as you tolerated more before, you put up with, more stuff before, so they can mistreat you and abuse you as well. Some men are just not going to want to be around that energy, and they'll move forward from that. It's an important part of growing up and having wisdom to understand that certain people are in your life for a season. And I don't believe in mistakes. I believe that everyone who comes into our life is in our life to teach us something. So I believe that everyone who's in my life is a potential Mr. Right Now, or Miss Right Now for some reason, right? Friendships can end too. The important thing is that I want to expand my life with the right nows. Like, I want to meet those people. I want to see what lessons they can teach me. I want to gain new experiences, but I am also not afraid to, when I see that their time is up in my life, their purpose has been served, it's time to let them go. Let them go in peace. Let them go with God. If they wronged you, trust, you know, trust that either they will be handled, or that what you will get in exchange for the wrongs that they caused you, that what's on the other side for you is so much better that you're not even going to care, that the pain that you went through is going to be more than worth what you get later on. Or maybe both will happen, which, would be hooray. But either way, understanding that a right now person who comes into your life is not necessarily a wrong person, understanding that just because someone is incompatible with you, doesn't communicate well with you, that doesn't mean that they're a horrible person and that you should hate them. Hate is a lot of energy that you don't have time for. If you're really truly trying to get out here and have that cherished, joyous life, you don't have time for hate. You need to be focusing on securing bags, securing healthy relationships, securing partnerships. Um, you don't have time to hate on people who, like, couldn't be the man that you needed them to be, couldn't be the friend that you needed them to be. Those people, once they exit that season in your life, are no longer your problem. As always, I love spending this time with you. I hope that you have enjoyed it as well. And come see me on Instagram. Let me know what your biggest takeaway is. I am at my name at Keisha Rice. And I'd love to know your own experiences with right now people who weren't necessarily bad people once you look back on it, but they were incompatible, and about how those people help lead you maybe to better circles or lead you to your partner. I know that there are a lot of things that I learned in the relationships, the 3 or 4 guys that I dated right before I met my husband. Um, there were a lot of things that I learned in those relationships and those situations that had I not learned those, I don't think I would have been emotionally ready to be married, to take that step, to make that commitment.